Okay, so it's a ask me anything session. So the way it will work, you raise your hand, and we will bring a mic, and you can ask your question, anything. So let's start. First question over there.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
When analyzing Odoo log files, we saw that there are always 2 times at the end of every log line. What does these 2 times represent?
Okay, so we show you the total time of the HTTP request. Okay, then we showed you also the time spent during SQL in Postgres. And so you can deduct how much Python code, how much time you spend in Python, and how much time you spend in SQL.
So
okay.
first
and
one
also,
is total time?
And also there is another number, the number of queries that were executed, I think.
So the first number is the total time, and the second is the SQL time, or?
No, I think, tu te souviens? Because I don't remember if it's Python and, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the trick is that there are 3 numbers, and one is a big number, is the number of SQL queries, and so it's like 1,000 or 100 or something like that.
Or less if you optimized your code.
Less. And the next one is the time it took to execute those queries, so they are close to each other. That's the way you remember which is which. And the last one is the total time. It's, and the last one is like it's web server logs. Usually the web server logs, like Nginx logs. Sometimes you put the total time of the query at the very end of the log line, so we do the same for Odoo.
So if you want to deduct the Python time, then you have to subtract the full time minus the SQL time.
Okay, thanks.
And also we color it, if it takes too much time, we color it in red, like it's too slow.
Hello. Actually, Odoo is now getting bigger with a huge number of customers. We are Odoo Gold partner. We are focusing on transforming Odoo outside the SME to target large enterprises. Yeah. When we have large enterprises, for example, I have a customer with about 1 million of products and a huge amount of transactions. Yeah. We used 26 Odoo workers, Odoo SH workers, but it didn't work. Yeah. So we are asking, do you have a plan to focus on these large customers?
Yes.
This is good. Yeah. Number one. Also, in the back end of Odoo, do you plan to use to move, for example, for microservices? For do you have a guide for even if we want to move outside Odoo SH to on-prem? Do you have a guide for the infrastructure? How we can have multi-server? Do you plan in Odoo to do something like this or not? Or
okay, so I understand the question. The last year during my keynote, during the keynote, I didn't present this year, so I was cool. But last year I presented a use case where I showed that you can handle big load with Odoo, and I showed that in Odoo SH we go up to 256 workers, and with that you can handle a lot of stuff. But alors, first answer to your first question is yes, we want to address a bigger market. And we have, at Odoo, we have a sales team also, it's called MMC, Medium and, I don't know, the mid-market and corporate, I think that's the name. And it's always a case by case, okay? And you have the limit of how many transactions you have to process per second. What's the SLA? Can the database be down for like 1 hour per year or something like that? And when you optimize, what we do with those kind of customers, in pre-sales or sometimes they pay for it, we make a proof of concept with their use case and we show them that it works. And so we, for example, we had a pharmaceutical company and they have a lot of transaction, etc. So we reproduce a small version of their use case, not the fully implementation, and then we show them that it works. Because when you show them a POC that works, it's much more convincing that yes, we can handle the load. And I know that I have always the question, will it handle my load? Can Odoo do it, etc. And the answer is always yes. Up to now, we can do it. Huge database, lots of transactions, we can handle it. And you can do it on Odoo SH with 256 workers. But if it's not enough for you, yes, you can use another infrastructure. And that's one we use on Odoo.com, where we have multiple physical servers running Odoo code, so the Python code of Odoo, and also multiple database servers. So you can replicate Postgres. Okay? So you have one master database. This one is read-write. So when you update a record, you go to the master database, and you have after the replica. And when you do a read-only transaction, you can use the replica. And by doing that, we think we can scale 10 times more. Because we estimate that maybe, and it's the case on Odoo.com, 90% of the requests that we get, it's just to read data, and maybe 10% are to update data. So I think it scaled quite well. And, but you have to be convinced. That's the problem. And that's a problem also with my salespeople. They are always coming to me because they are not, and if you are not convinced yourself that it will do it, it's difficult to sell it to a customer. You have to first convince yourself that, yes, it will work. And if you have, after specification for your use case, you know, because you had a problem with a use case, come to the developer area and we will try to find a solution. But it's a case by case. There is no silver bullet, you know. It depends on what the customer has to do with Odoo. Yeah. But yes, and you know that we get a lot of interest by big corporation now. And I say that, but at the same time, our focus in terms of user interface, etc., is always the SME. So we do both, but when we think about the product itself, we always think about small and medium company. But at the same time, we know that we can scale large volumes. Next question. Yeah, over there. Micro.
Hi.
Yes. Hello.
Gwenaël. So we have launched an Odoo instance 18 months ago with a lot of Odoo Studio customization. And as we gain experience, now we want to move toward the custom modules.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice about how to handle this migration properly?
Yeah, it's complex because I always say that, you know, we are a bit paranoid at Odoo because we say to the people, oh, this software is very easy to customize. But so you can do anything, but at the same time, don't do it. Try to stay as much as possible to the standard. And Odoo Studio is a bit a curse also because, yes, you can do a lot of stuff, but if you do a lot of stuff on Odoo Studio, it's not maintained. It's difficult to maintain. So I think after a certain threshold, you should move to real Python code that you can version, etc., and manage properly. So what you will need to do is to move the stuff that you have in Odoo into modules. Alors, it's easy because you have probably server actions. So then you move them to Python code, and then the data, you move it. You know that you can export your customization. There is a function where you can export. You export it as a data modules. So it's just XML file. Then you have to process those files to move it to Python code. Maybe you can use the AI to do that to help you.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
And the main question is about existing data. We have production data with X Studio or something.
Yeah,
and
then
we
you
have
would like to rename the field. You have to know that you are not forced to rename the field. You could keep the studio name, but I would advise you to rename them. But if you use our upgrade tools, you know there is a repository upgrade tools. You can use the upgrade tools of Odoo to migrate to a proper and nicely named schema.
Okay, so there is a way to rename the...
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
In the upgrade system, we have a... Because also, even in Odoo, sometimes we name things incorrectly and then we want to rename it. So we have a tool in upgrade to easily rename stuff. And it will take care of... Imagine that you have a filter somewhere. Using the old name, it will also rename all the filters of all the user, all this kind of stuff. It takes care of that for you.
Okay, that was my main concern, so thank you.
Next question. Oh, sorry.
No, it's not related. Okay. You can.
Donc, allez-y.
Do you have a mic? Go ahead. Okay. When did you start to integrate artificial intelligence in the product? How long?
When did I start to integrate what?
When did you start integrating AI in the product? How
We
long it
started this year. I think,
This
no,
year?
last year we already were using it to, for example, generate content for the website builder.
Right.
And that was pretty much everything we did, no? Or something else. And also, we were using also an AI algorithm. It's not a LLM, so it's not a transformer to do the OCR, okay? And we started this year to implement all the other features,
Right.
and those other features are mostly using LLMs.
Because I'm surprised with the integration that you got. It's pretty spread in the product. So
Yeah.
I want to understand the framework that you used in Odoo in order to do that, all that in this.
But that's the strength of Odoo. Everything is coherent in Odoo,
Right.
because every modules are similar. So we developed a module called AI, which implement what's an agent, etc. And the way we did it also, we don't want to train a model for every customer, because that would be too expensive. So what we use generic models.
Right.
We try to stay agnostic with the model. So you can use the well-known module, well-known LLM like the one of Google or there is what Google, OpenAI, etc.
Grok
But if you want to use another one, you can use it.
Right.
And what we advise is we use models that have a lot of context.
Right.
And we use the context window instead of training something. And the reason I do that is, at Odoo, every customer is very cheap to host, because we leverage, like on one physical server, I can host 5,000 customers.
Right.
And that's why we cannot train a LLM for everybody. That would be too expensive.
Of course. But
So we develop the modules, and then everywhere in Odoo, if you want to use an AI feature, you can call the API of that modules.
right. So you have a small team of developers
I think
working
I have
in
a
AI.
team of around 10 developers.
10 developers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great.
And actually, it was easy to develop all those features, because it's just integration, and we didn't have to develop a trainer model from scratch. And the models are evolving, like every month there is new models. And after for ourselves, we are using the OpenAI API at the moment. And then when people start to using a lot and we will see the cost, we might switch to our own inference system.
Maybe Olama or whatever.
Yeah, we or DeepSeek or Kimi, I don't know, and then we can host it ourselves or pay a provider. The thing about hosting it ourselves is that we might also guarantee that everything that you ask the AI stay in the ecosystem of Odoo and doesn't go to a foreign.
Because you're not getting token restrictions in the agents, and you're online. You're
At the
providing
moment, we didn't put any restriction.
Okay.
But we might after price it. But at the moment, we didn't do it. We want to see how people will use the features before we decide something about the price of tokens, etc. But I think we don't want to earn money on that.
Right.
So we will always let the possibility for people to use their own model.
Okay.
That's
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
We are on Odoo SH dedicated, 200 license, and we're wondering how to hook up our Odoo instance to a BI system, so data platform, but really like audit log to grab every single change.
You mean the change that developers do inside of the platform of Odoo?
No.
No. In the database?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we tried different things. At the moment, we ended up with table triggers and grab the data, and so on.
I mean, on the business side, in many modules, you can track data. You have the track fields feature. You know what it is? Mm-hmm. Where you just track fields and we log it in the chatter. And for accounting, I think in Germany, we use this feature to track everything, because we pass a certification and we had to make sure that everything was audited. So you can change an invoice, etc., but you have to log everything. So we use that feature. And I think
but that's inside Odoo, right?
it's what? It's on the Odoo level. You want to track at which level?
I want in a data platform outside of Odoo.
So you would like to track at the database level everything that happens?
So if I could wish, I would have a real-time replica of the database in our prem.
So you would like to get a replica maybe of the database and then
Exactly.
save it? No,
And
at the moment we don't offer the possibility for Odoo SH to have an external replica.
I
So
heard-
what we do, you can do a backup every day or something like that, but we don't have this
But,
feature.
but what's
If it's what's the requirement behind? What's the use case? The business use case?
to have every change in our data platform to
Yeah, but-
correlate
okay,
with other things.
No, that's not a business use case. What's the company who's using that database? What does that company do, and why do they want to log
We're in
everything?
manufacturing of semiconductor,
Okay.
and you know, if you have physicists in your company,
Is it for? Is it because of a legal requirement? No, it's a.
so it's yeah, it's in the DNA of the company that you want to track everything from start. They are physicists,
Yeah.
and
So yes, you could store the wall of Postgres and you get all the change, but I think it would be a waste of storage space. But no, we don't offer the solution on the OSH right now for that.
Okay.
If you really need to keep everything that happened on the replication level, you have to do it yourself. Yeah.
Salut, Antony.
Salut.
You talked about the interest in the corporations.
Yeah.
And we have a big client migrated to version 18 this year.
Yeah.
And the DB was huge, so over 300 gigabyte.
Yeah.
And it took Odoo around 3 months to migrate it.
Not migrate the database. You had to did Odoo upgraded the code?
Yes.
Okay, we did.
Yeah.
We did some
I mean,
consulting.
we customized
Yeah.
the Odoo core, and of course we run some scripts before we handed in the DB,
Yeah.
and then
So you took care of all your customization.
exactly.
But
And
the standard part took 3 months to.
exactly because
Why?
it run always in a memory error, etc. And my question is, are there any plans to improve that? Because
Yeah,
we lost a bit of trust of
I
the
think
client.
it's 3 months is too long. Even if we have issue in standard, I'm
Yeah.
no, that's a problem.
Okay.
You should have called me before because it's too late now. It's done.
Yeah, it's done. It was successful, but it
Yeah,
took a
okay.
bit
If
too-
you have a problem one day and the upgrade, 10 years ago, I had a lot of complaint about the upgrade systems, etc. But no, I don't get I don't get any complaint anymore. If you have a problem, yeah, you can always come back to
I
me.
mean,
And
I reach out to you next
yeah, you
time.
can
But of
reach out
course,
to
we
me.
escalated in Odoo, and I'm wondering.
But did they tell you why it took 3
we
months?
had too many products, too many post transactions.
That's not an issue, no.
Yeah.
Okay, it will take time. So when you will schedule the upgrade, it might take like 24 hours to do the process, maybe something like that, a few hours. But if there is a problem in the upgrade script themselves that crash, maybe because there is too many products, no, we should fix them much faster.
Okay.
And if it's not the case, reach out to me.
Okay, thanks.
I have 2 questions. We also moved different customers to Odoo SH.
Yeah.
What we experience sometimes is that, for example, if you have a lot of product variants and you are going to the shop, that the Odoo SH goes down.
If you have a lot of
Product variants.
okay.
So you must imagine we have a customer which sells a bike.
Okay. So
SSL.
do you create the product, or is it like on the fly when you select the variation? You
Both.
create the product. You have
Both.
both.
Yeah.
Okay. And when does it go down?
Well, actually, when the end customer basically is searching, let's say, a jacket.
And when you say go down, it means that the request take a long time, or after the you cannot.
Unreachable.
Okay.
Odoo SH will be unreachable.
Come today. Come this afternoon. we'll look at the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the
Is it?
the
Do you
question
think? Do you have a lot of customization around it? Custom code?
In this situation, nearly nothing. There are some. for
Were
example-
you able to reproduce the product
Yes.
in the standard version?
Yes.
Okay. Just
But
comment.
it seems to be under some conditions.
Yeah. But are you able to reproduce those conditions?
We know that at least under some circumstances the variants are wrong inside Odoo. That's
Okay.
a little bit the point.
And did you reach out to the support?
Yes.
And
Yes.
do you have a ticket?
We already solved it, but on a
It's
different way.
solved.
Yeah, basically yes. But you know, we have other customers which also have 10,000, 20,000 variants,
Yeah.
and we
And
have seen
also
that-
same question: are they created in the database as product, or is
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, they are created. Well,
The problem is basically when the customer calls us and says, "Hey, we don't have the shop on it. We cannot reach the shop."
okay. So you
how
mean the
is-
product page doesn't display?
Yes,
Okay.
it goes to bad gateway in the end.
Christophe Mathieu, who's one of our developers, he did a lot of optimization about the product page 2 weeks ago for this release, so that we want to show that product page loads up below 100 milliseconds. So we changed a lot of the code that was doing the product page, and maybe your problem is solved in the new version, and I can show you the solution.
Yeah. Now the
Okay.
question for me is
Huh?
especially: is there or do you plan that partners are able to hard reset basically the Odoo SH, let's say the stage module or the production for a short time so that it restarts again? Because this is actually
you know what
a little bit
happens?
the problem because we
Imagine
have to call.
imagine that Odoo crash. Okay.
Yeah, because it ends in the message bad gateway.
Okay, I think that's a problem. Maybe it's one of the person concerned by the problem we were talking with the race condition in Python, no? Because he had a memory error and he didn't restart. But yeah, come to see me, because we had recently, it happened 10 times on Odoo SH, where there is a bug in Python, a race condition where if when you launch a thread in a very short time frame, you have a memory error, Python, there is a problem in Python, and we are addressing the problem.
Yeah, but that's
You think?
that issue is really rare.
It's
When-
really rare. It happened 10 times on millions of customers. So.
And when the system was down, would it recover by itself after a little while, like
5 minutes?
1 minute or something, or?
At least 2 times we have to call the support.
Yeah, that's
so
not
that
normal.
they could investigate and restart.
And what did they tell you? What was the reason?
The only thing they found out is that there was something wrong with the variant.
No, wait, mate. Okay,
So
that's what triggers the problem. But whatever you do, even if you do bad code in Odoo SH, it should not be done anyway. Okay, maybe the worker gets killed because you use too much memory, but it should not kill your instance. It should restart. No, if it didn't restart, then we have a problem. And that's what we need to investigate it with you this afternoon, maybe.
but is it planned that there's something like emergency button where we can say do the complete restart of that?
Actually, if you SSH, if you take the shell, you can type Odoo restart.
Yeah, but that was not enough.
That was not enough?
No, it was not enough. No.
Okay, so it's a much...
The first time it took about 5 or 10 minutes until the page was reachable.
Really?
But one time we have really called.
So you started to restart from the shell and it didn't restart?
No.
Okay. So problem, then it's a real Odoo SH bug. I don't know. Can you come this afternoon and show us? Does it still happen?
At the moment, not, because we are completely.
You fixed the
tried
underlying, you fixed the issue behind. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it was based on the variants, but.
But okay, let's simulate the problem again. So we will trigger the memory error and check. Okay, we don't do it on your production database.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. Yes.
Showed.
Yes, it's working.
Yeah, this morning Fabienne showed in the CRM app this feature on the probability with this explanatory eye explaining why the percentage
Actually, what he showed you is a feature that was already available last year, I think. So we use a Bayesian algorithm. It's AI, if you want, but it's just a Bayesian algorithm. And it showed you what it uses to compute the probability according to the Bayesian formula.
Yeah, I'm familiar. But would this be a feature that also will become available for a developer to implement on other models? And
yeah, I think if you want to, The data model there is specific to leads, but if you wanted to implement something similar for another model, you could do it. But you cannot just apply and use the same model. You have to copy,
yeah, and train a model specifically on that, of course. Yeah.
Next question. Là-bas. You have to run a lot. Huh?
Hi. How do you handle the access rights within your AI tools?
The access what?
Access rights. So who can see what?
The access right. Actually, everything you do with AI, nothing changed from an access right point of view. So if you have the right to do it yourself, then the AI has the right to do it. But AI won't have the right to do something that you cannot do. So imagine that you, I don't know, ask the AI to change your salary. It will not do it because you don't have the right to change your own salary, for example. Okay, it's a bad example. But so we just apply the access right of Odoo itself.
Well, actually, it depends of what you're talking about with AI, because there are lots of different toolings. If we talk about agent, when the agent executes, responds to a prompt and gives instruction to execute a tool or a query into the database, it's going to apply the access rights of the person who is making these requests. So it's simply just continuing with applying the normal access rights. It's just that instead of yourself deciding the operation, it's the LLM who is telling you what you should be doing to obtain your result.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are using the AI to do some automation, like sorting documents in a folder or for the incoming documents, then of course there's no user present. So it's going to be configured with the system permissions. But at that point, you give the AI very strict guidelines on what it can do, like maybe sort documents into different folders, but it cannot do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's a risk, because obviously, whenever there is AI, there is a risk of injection. So you have to take that into account, and we try to do that as much as possible. Typically, when it's sorting documents, it has only very few degrees of freedom to what it can do as a tool. So even though it is executing with its own permission, it can only do very small things like selecting the folder where it's putting the data, and not much more than that.
Yeah, that's true. So for stuff that runs in the background, it's different than the one that you run in the foreground. Like fields also, because fields, you can set up them and it starts to compute, but if there is a lot of records, we could compute them also in the background. Next question. Yeah? Is it working?
It's working.
Okay.
I assume you do the AI as a RAG. Does it hallucinate somehow?
Does he have what?
Hallucination in the AI agent.
Yes, sometimes it can.
In that case, what is your recommendation?
It depends on what you are doing with the AI.
Yeah.
If you are asking a question and then it gives a bad answer, that's it. If you are doing using it for an automation, you have to be aware that everything you ask to AI, it's not 100% sure it will give you a good result. Imagine that you are using it like in the example for enriching leads.
Yeah.
If the AI hallucinates and gives a bad industry to the lead, it's not a big issue. You see, but so it depends on the use case. No, of course, we didn't solve the problem of AI hallucinating. Yeah.
The question is, when you do AI automation, not for the prompt, obviously, for example, when you assign different documents to different directories, for example, it may actually do mistakes.
Imagine that it gives you a wrong decision. So it means that the document would be the wrong folder.
Yeah, but that means that you have to go manually to adjust it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Imagine that you sort documents and there is one document that should be a contract, but it's sorted in a, let's say, a traffic fine. So the person handling traffic fine will say, oh, it's in the wrong folder. Yeah. AI doesn't, when you do AI stuff, I recommend you to always check afterward. It's the same with the OCR. We have an OCR system we think we have 95 to 98% accuracy, but it's not 100. So the role of the accountant is always to check that everything seems correct. So you have a manual check.
So you do it as a RAG, I assume, right?
Yeah, what we do, the agent in Odoo, you can choose any model, like I was explaining, and then you can put documents to enrich the context using stuff from the RAG. Okay, so you will fill the RAG, then we do the RAG algorithm ourselves. We will match with the embeddings and select the the relevant part, and then we provide it as a context to the agent. That's the way it works. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello.
Over there, we have question on the top of the room, and also there. Okay, start.
Hello. Yeah. So recently I've had some issues when creating help desk tickets. It would take 1 minute, and then I assume some deadlock or something.
While printing tickets? No.
Creating a help desk ticket. Like when somebody creates a help desk ticket, it took 1 minute. The ticket was created instantly, but there was something dying, I guess, and after 1 minute there was a timeout.
So you go on the website page with a contact form that creates a ticket, or you go in the back end and you click create and you fill a ticket?
On the front end.
On the front end.
And there was some.
And you submit it and it takes 1 minute?
Exactly.
It's obviously a bug. And
do you have a way or like a strategy to debug? I assume it's some database lock or something like a deadlock, something that's
maybe, but I'm sure I can debug it quickly.
But is there some way to figure out what code is right?
Did the problem arise on a standard Odoo database with nothing? Like
no, it was custom code. I mean, I figured out what the code was, but I. Do you like have some way to figure out what's writing?
Okay, but we can help you to debug the stuff. But I would bet that the problem is in the custom code, because actually creating a ticket is a very simple operation. Huh? We just have all the fields and we insert it into the database. It should not have any deadlocks is more when you work on same records, but when you create new records, usually there is no deadlock. And even it's a strategy that we use sometimes to make sure that there is no deadlock. Then we append record, because we know that appending record usually doesn't lead to deadlocks. So, on avait là-bas, je sais plus.
Hello. Will Odoo be?
Can you raise your hand? I don't know. Okay.
Will Odoo be MCP ready soon? With AI, with the API.
I didn't understand the question.
Will Odoo be MCP ready?
MCP, yeah. So at the moment, every time we define an agent, we can also define the tools that the agent can use. Okay, and at the moment we do it from the Python code. We say, okay, we can export. We give you AI, we give you access to this function, and you give a description of the function. But we do that internally. So it's not a MCP because you cannot use it from the outside. But I would like to, you saw this morning the /doc feature where we can generate a HTML page with all the API of Odoo. So we can do the same. Instead of generating HTML, we could generate a JSON file with every function in Odoo, and that will give you MCP with everything in Odoo. We didn't test it yet, but I would like to test. Okay, let's give it everything and ask the AI to do something, and we will see if it works. Fabien is betting that it won't work, but yeah, we have to try it anyway. So I think doing that MCP layer based on the code that generate the HTML page with the API is very easy, because you just output JSON instead of HTML. See? Yeah. Non, c'est pour quelqu'un qui a le micro. Ok. Over there. Et puis you. Non, mais.
Hello.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you have any plans to move away from VK HTML to PDF?
Yes, but we don't. We were working on at least three different solutions. One is to do a render from scratch. One is to use Chrome. So we would use Chrome, but the source code of Chrome, there is a library called, I don't know, where you can just use the source code of Chrome, and build another binary. So we would use the renderer of Chrome. The problem is that it's slow with big document, and it takes a lot of memory. And the third solution is to use a library that implement HTML and CSS already, and we do the PDF generation. So we are working on something. Maybe next year, I would be happy to announce that we can get rid of WK HTML to PDF. It's not yet the case. So this year, you will still have to use WK HTML. The problem is that WK HTML doesn't support the recent CSS stuff. So like the latest Bootstrap stuff, it doesn't work, and it's a bit annoying when you do templates.
It's not just that. I recently have errors in the, we have Odoo 17, and we always have error logs when we are printing. It's just like something with async.
Okay, if it's just...
It's not an error that occurs in the front end, but it's in the logs. And we had an issue where when we have workers on, it takes 2 times the time to print than when we are disabling the workers.
What were you trying to print? Is it a long document or just single page or?
Single page or
simple PDFs, huh?
Simple PDFs. With
and what happens if the bug arises?
With workers, it takes 2 times longer than without workers activated. And I tried to communicate with the support.
Are you on Odoo SH?
On premise.
On premise, okay.
Yes, but again, it's just workers or no workers.
It shouldn't matter, because what we do at the moment, we just spawn a process and execute WK-HTML to PDF, and then we take the output in a temporary file, I think.
Yes, but the report has to load the assets for the report, so it launches a few requests to load the assets from within WK.
That's true.
And then your workers have to answer this before the report can be rendered.
It's an on-premise. I created.
Yeah, okay, but maybe you have a problem.
Without customizations.
No. The problem is that imagine that the WK-HTML to PDF has to load a lot of image. It will do request again on your server, and if you don't have enough worker.
And we have enough workers.
How many?
It's not the issue with the infrastructure.
Okay.
I don't know what the problem is. I tried to communicate with the support, but yeah.
Because in the next version of our PDF renderer, I don't know which one it will be, but we will make sure that the PDF renderer doesn't do request anymore. It will communicate through a pipe or a socket with Odoo to request additional assets. But I suspect that that's the problem. It's WK-HTML who's doing request again on your server, and that's what caused the issue. We can look at it. You don't believe me. It's okay. No, maybe I'm wrong, huh?
Yeah. It's not that big of an issue, but it's occurring in the logs a lot. And
because using a worker or not, if there is no back request, I would say it doesn't change anything.
And what we can tell you is that we are using WK as the default report printing for our entire SaaS, with like hundreds of thousands of databases printing on it. And so yes, it has its issues, like it can consume a lot of memory, it can be slow, and we do some tricks like rate limiting it or restricting the number of print jobs that can be sent at the same time on the same machine to slow down these kind of issues. But in terms of stability and the time it takes to print a report when there is nothing else blocking the system, it's pretty solid. Of course, we deploy a specific version of WK that is compiled with a specific version of the Qt libraries and everything. But once you have the right version and we document this, it should be pretty stable. So it shouldn't be exhibiting the kind of issues that you have. Maybe you want also to check the report URL that you configure in the system parameters.
I did that,
so that it's fine.
Okay.
But if you see a difference between workers, no workers,
we will not debug it right now. But same as I said to other people who had bugs or something like that, please come around on the next to the developer area, and we can look at your specific problem and maybe help you.
We have heard about AI and about access rights, and as well about hallucination. What about if I am an administrator and say revoke all administrators? is this secured in any way so that
so you mean
fields
I'm
are
an
not
administrator and then I remove the group settings of myself? I think
so. No, it's just an example. Or say my prompt is not formed properly, and it's hallucinating and it's doing whatever. It's creating a cron job or.
Of course, there is the least privilege principle. You should not give more privilege than what's needed to accomplish the task.
Yeah, for sure. But if I'm an administrator and I do a prompt and it's hallucinating, what is there a risk?
Yeah, there is a risk because, for example, when you are in the control K feature, what we do when you ask a question, we generate an action. So it will usually just do a search with a specific domain and group by, so the risk is limited. But yeah.
Because there might be system parameters which are created or overwritten or
no,
like
because at the moment the AI doesn't have the tool to write, for example, config parameter, so it will never change any configuration. It just trigger action. But imagine that you have an action, and in the code of search, which is a bad practice, but the code of search does something right in the database, then maybe you have a side effect. It's because code is badly written. Normally search should be read-only.
But your main protection is that the agent is not able to make changes to the database directly. It's just sending you to URLs, and so it's already an extra layer of protection because normally just opening a URL doesn't do any actions that could be destructive.
And if you want to do agents that do something, what I recommend is that you create a specific, instead of doing what I was saying with the MCP where you give access to everything, it's just to play. If you want to do real stuff, I think you should write a method like, okay, I want the AI to be able to do this action specific, and you just do that action, and then you give it to the AI. So it's the surface of what the AI can do is limited.
Okay.
Just like we did with the document sorting, we only give very few degrees of freedom to what the LLM can trigger as an action. So this way, even if it does something bad or someone does a prompt injection that tricks it into doing something, it's never something bad.
Yeah, like the function can only change the many-to-one, like folder ID from one folder to another, and that's all. Okay, question again here and here. Wait.
Hello. We are seeing with the AI module we can...
I don't know, I don't see you. Okay, yeah.
We are seeing with the AI module we can read the attachment and take actions like create an invoice. We have topic, I think we can create a vendor bill or customer bill. Is that functionality will replace the OCR? Or
at the moment, no. The OCR has its own algorithm, and we have a 90-something% rate. But that's for invoices. I think for tickets, they use something like a modern LLM. It's not a LLM, a transformer. And so if it works well, we keep it. OCR is 95% success, so we don't plan to change it yet.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, on the right.
Yeah.
Hi. I have a question about infrastructure.
Yeah.
So last year you did a demo about scaling of Odoo.
You remember it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So that was vertical scaling, single node with many nodes and large amounts of memory. And as I understood, that is the same that you do on odoo.com.
No, so the demo I showed was the one that's available on Odoo SH. The one we use on odoo.com is the one with different physical server.
Okay, my question was, you did a demo of vertical scaling. Why didn't you do
because I think
scaling?
For most of the need, and why I say most of the need, 99.9 maybe % of the case, it's enough. And when people have usually performance issue, they always think the infrastructure will solve it. It's wrong. It's software that will solve it. When you do something n square or n to the power of 3, you can do whatever you want. It won't be solved by putting more CPU at the job. You need to solve your algorithm.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it's cheaper to do horizontal scaling because during the rush hour when you have a large load, you can You can
allocate
multiple
you
nodes.
can allocate temporarily more resources and then use it when other people need it.
Yeah, and during the night they are
yes,
killed.
You're right. Yeah, we are wasting the Odoo SH platform is wasting a bit some CPU where you don't have the peak hour.
Yeah,
that's true. But we don't waste energy because the CPU is idle. But yes, yeah, you're right. The platform
okay,
is
but
wasting
for any kind of infrastructure or on-premise installation, horizontal scaling works fine. There are no issues with doing horizontal scaling. You just need to have shared file store. And you
share the file store and you share the database. And you can also replicate the database if you want to parallelize it. And then you can put as many servers as you want. Okay. So the Python part is very scalable. That's the bottleneck. It would be usually the database.
Yeah, the database. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And actually, last year when I did the demo, I think Odoo.com was not yet running fully on the distributed version. Now, since how long? When did you switch to this? Like a few months ago, and we've been running successfully on the Postgres, which is replicated now. And we had to fix some bugs, like there is a read-only or read-write request. There was a few bugs to fix, but it works smoothly.
Hello.
Hello.
We was talking about the system of the AI, like simple stuff, creating invoice, sending a message, and the otherwise. But as all we know, we have the AI assistant. They accompany about the meetings and creating the list of the tasks at the end of the meeting and making the resume of what was happened and what we was talking about.
The voice feature,
Yes. My question, if we have an AI in the Odoo, is it will be possible to make the Odoo AI assist a meeting and creating a task and assign it to employers?
Yeah, I think that's doable,
But it is already native.
When you say assist a meeting, it would be passive. It would just listen to the meeting.
Yes, exactly.
And then at the end, using the summary, it would say, okay, we were talking about this task that had to be done by this person, and we will assign.
Exactly.
No, yes, I think it's easily possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. We have one question there. No, I don't know. And over there also at the top. You have to choose. Also here.
Hi, Antony.
Okay.
I know you don't really do roadmaps, but I was wondering, I have not seen any talk of yours scheduled for this Odoo experience where you talk about the plans for next year. So what are your big priorities?
Usually we don't do that. We don't talk too much about the roadmap because we don't have a big roadmap yet. We will decide what we will do for the next year.
Right. Do you have any big topics?
No, we have ideas. We know that, for example, there is, simple stuff. We have localization in accounting. So the goal is to expand the team of localization to support as quick as possible and as good as possible every country in the world out of the box and perfect. That's a lot of people because every country is different and we have to have a few developers or product owners for each country. Same with payroll. So that will take a lot of resources. And that's one of the reasons we are scaling the R&D a lot. For other tasks that will revolutionize maybe the way we do in manufacturing or inventory, we didn't, I don't know the roadmap yet.
Yeah.
I think every product owner has in its head, stuff that he would like to do. And what we do usually after the release year, we meet all the product owners, also all the business analysts, and then we discuss about all the ideas. And the problem are not the ideas. The problem is to say no. Because we have always a list of, 50 stuff, and we have to choose, okay, among those 50, we can only do 5 or 10, and we have to choose those ones. So what are the most important? Yeah.
So the question is not so much in terms of feature, but more on the technical front. Like recently, we've had the like replication stuff. Now there's the offline mode. Anything like big hard hitters on the like purely technical side?
Yeah, there is the there is the on the JavaScript side. They will probably try to implement a model so that it can be used in point of sale, discuss, etc. So, like having one framework to model records in JavaScript. That's probably one of the big changes in the JavaScript part. On the Python side, I don't think we have something revolutionary that will come, revolutionary change that is planned for the ORM.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a question there. And we hope to see you back soon. Yeah.
Do you plan to do async I/O with Python or for the Python side?
What do you mean about Python?
Use the module async.
Async.
Yeah.
No, it's not planned at the moment. So it's more simple to program non-async. So when you do business code, usually it's easier to think, okay, I will do this.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier for us to build models and business code this way.
Yeah.
But if you need some event-like model or async model, what we do, we use G-event. So you have the standard worker, but you have also a G-event worker. And there you can do async stuff. Mostly async stuff.
Yeah, but the idea is not that. It's that when you are waiting for the database query that you can...
Yeah, but usually when you do business code, you want to do the next action based on what you queried before. Imagine.
I mean two different things. I mean, here you are waiting, the worker is normally waiting for the database, but instead just for waiting, he can...
Okay, I think it's better. I think it's better if we go to a proper use case. Give me a use case. And by use case, I mean I compute an invoice that do this real stuff from the real world.
I have one user that it's in the accounting and wants to print a report, so it has to read a lot.
Yeah.
And the background somewhere on the website.
For printing stuff or stuff that will take a long time, what we advise you to do is you can you have like almost a queue manager by using crons. You can trigger stuff. And then they happen in the background, and then when you have the result, you send a notification and the person can get access to the result. That's the way I would recommend to do. Yeah, you don't.
But it's
blocking
a worker the whole time instead that the worker can do something else while the database is working.
Because the question is not about the code. The question is about the user. The user is doing something. It will take a bit of time, and the user wants to do something else in the meantime. Yeah. Yes or no?
I'm not talking about one user. I'm talking about you have one worker that could do two different things for two different users. If they because if it's waiting for I/O request.
Same question as him. Like we are wasting CPU, but no, because what happens is usually you have one physical server and you have a number of CPU, let's say 16. And when you are doing Python business code, then you do a query. It's Postgres who's taking the CPU and then back to the Python, so you don't waste that much. If it's for Python and SQL. If it's for printing reports, yes, there might be a problem. And if you have a problem with printing long report, you can do something async by triggering the job, doing the job, then notification after. Okay. Quelle heure? Last question.
I think this discussion is very useful, but the bad thing is that we have the chance to have it only once a year. So
you would like us to do a session like this online?
I hope we can have it quarterly based or something like this, because actually I see a lot of...
You want to come to Brussels every quarter?
Maybe, or at least
we
so
we do it remote online alors.
Yeah,
okay.
At least online. Yeah.
Maybe I remember a few years ago we did that with Olivier. We did some webcast, and people were asking questions, but Odoo was smaller also, but it was not very popular, so I think we stopped.
Even you need to listen to us, because I see a lot of questions coming from partners serving corporates.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of problems, and you need to know it, because you need to consider it in your roadmap or next.
Yeah, but we have an internal team who's doing corporate stuff, and they report us also the same problem. But yes, maybe we should organize some like webinar online where people can ask questions.
Yes,
we could do that. Yeah,
please. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so thank you for your attention. Wait, before upload. So I didn't answer maybe all the question, and like I told you during the talk, we have an area called the developer area, and we have stands with which each application has a stand. And if you have a specific question, you can go there, ask at the stand, and then if you want to talk with a developer or maybe check an issue, etc., there are chairs, and we can sit on a table, on a chair with a laptop and discuss together. So I invite you to pass at the developer area. Thank you for your attention, and enjoy Odoo experience.